Earl entered with the Tribe after securing 17 wins in his first season, including 11 in conference play. William Mary returned 7 players from last season, including Chase Lowe, one of 5 seniors on this year's squad. The preseason second team selection posted 8.4 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 3.1 assists per game last season. Coach, I'll start with you. You're able to bring back some veteran leadership here. Talk about the importance of having 5 seniors and a guy like Chase Lowe back on your team.
Well, yeah, I think it's extra important now with the changing landscape in college athletics. Sometimes as a coach, you'll say, "Remember that game from last year where we should have got a couple stops," and you're looking around and half the team wasn't there. So a guy like Chase and Kyle Pulliam and Finn and down the roster who were there can say, you know, when they're on their own with their teammates, this is what he means by that. Let's all dig in and they're sort of reinforcing the messages that you have, which I think is it's important to have the right guys doing that for you because there's less than there used to be.
We'll start with Griffin.
Coach Earl, having that level of continuity with some of those older players, in what areas of the game do you feel like that can really help you guys moving forward this year and build on the season ago?
Well, I think we played fast last year. I think we're maybe planning on doing that again this year. And the way we instill that is probably a little unorthodox. And so sometimes practices can get a little outside the box. And I think in those moments where guys who have experienced a certain level of success, can sort of again reinforce your message to the newcomers that it's all for an ultimate goal, and I think Chase does that well along with his returners.
All right, Jay, we'll go to you.
Hey, Brian. With a year under your belt, as you noted, you're a top 20 tempo team last year. How does that help you recruiting? Obviously, people like to play up tempo, right? How does having that year of proof help you out when you're trying to recruit guys to play for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're telling the truth. Every college basketball coach for the last 50 years has said we want to play fast next year, um, including me when we were playing slow. So being able to show guys who want to play in that system that that's actually how you do play, I think goes a long way. And you can sort of point to those things that we actually do it. We have had some success with it. We know how to try and put it in um, year to year. I think that helps a lot. And if you do like to play a certain way, chances are we're going to be doing it next year. And we recruited Chase when he was coming out of high school, so he could probably speak to that a little bit as well.
Marty, I see you got 2 questions. If you want to ask him, you got him here.
Yeah, Coach Marty O'Brien. Um, Wanted to ask you, uh, after having a year with the program, compare where you are in practice and preparation with this time last year.
Yeah, I think we're itching to play someone else, just like probably everybody in our conference, just to get an idea of what we see working and not working, if that's actually a thing. Um, I will say again that last year we had one player, Keller Boothby, who was familiar with how we were playing, and this year we have seven that are familiar with it, and so it helps um, in that way a great deal that you do have these guys. And Chase, why don't you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so just as Coach Earl alluded to, the system thrives off of retention, and I think we have some good leadership, some good returners coming back that are very familiar with the system. We know what the coaches want, we know what they expect out of us, so I think that helps us a lot.
Chase, I saw where y'all were picked fourth in the CAA. That's the highest in your time at William and Mary, what do you think it says about the program and about Coach Earl?
I think it says that the program is moving in the right direction. As I said before, we have a lot of retention. We have a lot of guys coming back. We have some strong transfers coming in to the program, so I think they're going to help us out a lot this year. And I'm glad that we were picked fourth in the CAA, but we all know that the goal is to be number one and win the whole thing.
Thanks.
Guys, this is a question for both of you. Actually, you know what? I'll turn it to John. All for you, big guy.
Appreciate that. John O'Connor from the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Thanks for having me. Brian, who hits all those threes this year, in light of the fact that your best three-point shooter and one of the best three-point shooters in the country is no longer with you?
It cut off a little bit, but in essence, are we going to be shooting a lot of threes?
Yeah, that and who hits them now that that lefty's gone?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're going to have somebody. I think Gabe hit over 90, so it'll probably be by committee, and so we're not exactly looking for one guy to make up that difference. I think it's going to be multiple guys. Some names you've heard of and hit some last year that we're trying to get maybe 10 or so more out of, and then a few new guys who maybe are more willing shooters than guys we had last year. Chase has been shooting them, and so if you make them at a good rate, we're okay with you shooting them.
And just to follow up, the volume of threes will continue.
I'm not sure. It's a lot of the way we play will be up to our players, and we shot a lot last year, but I think some of it was the guys who had those decision points where do I shoot it or I move it along or drive to the basket were more apt to shoot, and it is not something that Chase can speak to this too. I am not pounding the desk saying shoot more threes. And so I'm into scoring and stopping the other team from scoring. And so if we can be the best 2-point shooting team in the country, shooting the most 2-pointers, we'll take it.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, guys, last question. You're going to open up the season on November 3rd. You're going to have 3 important games to start the year, but then you're going to go up to New York and you're going to face a heavily anticipated good St. John's team in Queens. How important is it to start off on a good foot with those first 3 games, knowing the matchups that's going to come after that?
Go ahead, Chase.
Yeah, I mean it's very important for us. We obviously know that we have a very rigorous non-conference schedule, but we welcome the challenge. We're excited for it. We're going to meet the challenge head on.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been too much into sort of plotting out the wins of a season. I'm not exactly sure who we're playing, and so you just sort of take the next game in front of you. We're not looking forward to St. John's by any stretch, but we have a lot of really great teams in our area on our schedule that we just want to fight and compete with and get better. And so St. John's will be, I think, special in sort of the moment, who you're playing against. But I don't know if we're looking much past today as far as let's just have a good practice and then take the next day as it comes.
Awesome. Well, guys, we appreciate you joining us today. The Tribe will begin their upcoming season on November 3rd, welcoming Georgian Court to Kaplan Arena. Guys, thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To all of our media members, thank you for joining us. This concludes the men's basketball portion of CAA Media Day. We will be sending out recordings as soon as we can, and the women's session will begin at approximately 1 p.m. Thank you guys for joining us, and I hope to see you soon.